Audio Jungle.
Hello and thank you for joining us today at Mexico News Network. I am your host Elisa Carballo and we are shooting and broadcasting live from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. Here are today's top stories. Exports to the United States have been exponentially growing by registering a substantial increase last year, which is a trend that will continue well into the year 2015. Back in the year 2013, the trade of goods between Mexico and the U.S. was of $507 billion. In 2014, it reached $534 billion, of which 12.5% was Mexico's share of imports from the U.S. In the year 2014, imports from Mexico to the U.S. increased by 4.9% compared to the previous year, which totaled $294 billion. A substantial increase indeed, even though it was exceeded by imports from China and Germany, registering an increase of 6% and 7.7% respectively. That same year, the leading sources for imported products to the United States were China, followed by Canada and then Mexico in third place. In fourth and fifth place were Japan and Germany respectively. As a result of said transactions, the total exports from the U.S. to Mexico were $240 billion, which left a $54 billion surplus for Mexico. According to Dolores Ramon, an analyst with the Spanish bank Ve por Más, this is a trend that will continue this year. Even though she believes that Mexican oil exports to the U.S. will decrease, she predicts an increase in products exportation from Mexico to the U.S. Mexico represents a $26 billion annual trade. This is a strong, solid, and very promising statement recently made by the governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey. Ever since the year 2010, the commercial relationship between Arizona and Mexico has been obstructed by migration issues. Now, the American state is trying to re-strengthen trade with its neighbor, particularly with the state of Sonora. According to Arizona's new governor, Doug Ducey, Mexico is Arizona's largest trading partner times 4 and represents $26 billion in annual trade. Naturally, I think we should be looking for ways to maximize and increase this strong economic partnership. Experts believe that improving economic development at the border may be a key strategy in Arizona's future economic growth. Because of the proximity to the border, 48.3 million people cross legally from Mexico to the U.S. and vice versa on business or to shop. In fact, statistics show that Mexican visitors spend around $7.3 million per day. This is the effect of the growing economic empowerment of the Mexican middle class. This data was gleaned from a report published by the nonprofit Arizona-Mexico Commission. Now, according to Forbes, Mexico's net worth increased by 18.4% in 2014. This means around $148.5 billion. The Boston Consulting Group predicts that this year production costs in Mexico will be 6% lower than those in China. The Arizona-Mexico Commission stated that Mexico is expected to exceed Brazil as the largest economy in Latin America by the year 2020. The editorial board of the Phoenix-based daily, the Arizona Republic, observed in mid-February that Mexico's recent legal reforms represent an open door to construct new alliances based on goals set by the Mexican government to generate 35% of the country's energy from clean sources by the year 2024. The exact same article also referred recommendations from a report from the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars regarding university exchanges and the development of human capital. Incentives of this kind of programs will allow Mexican residents to attend Texas state universities, for example, so that they may become part of an educated workforce that will improve economic development at the border upon their return to Mexico. a similar agreement that could be implemented between Arizona and Mexico. Focusing on a brand new rising and unfortunate trend, which are endangered species, the entire world is trying to do their part for the preservation of Mother Nature in every single way, and Mexico is introducing technology specifically to protect porpoises, better known as vaquitas. Mexican authorities have begun testing on computerized drones to patrol over the Sea of Cortez, the living area of this critically endangered species, porpoises, better known as vaquitas. There are only less than 100 specimens left, and the reason they have dropped down to this number is due to illegal fishing in the area. Vaquitas are trapped in the fishing nets during the catch of totoaba, which people fish to remove the bladder and sell it in clandestine markets, shipped through California and then off to China. Last year, Mexican authorities arrested 17 people only for the trafficking of totoaba bladders. A new plan to ban gillnet fishing in the upper Gulf of California could be implemented in March, and this could really be of help. Additionally, flying the drones as a way of having permanent aerial patrols and react in a faster and more efficient way. The ban would run for the next 2 years. However, unfortunately, the vaquita reproduces once every 2 years, and in fact, only 25 of the ones left are in the reproductive age as we speak, making it even harder to recover the population of this shy and elusive creature. It would take a long-term plan for approximately 20 to 30 years to recover 5,000 specimens. The vaquita is a rare species of porpoise and is endemic to the north of the Sea of Cortez or to the Gulf of California. It is the smallest and most endangered species of the cetacean order. We can only hope that these measures taken from government institutions such as the Federal Attorney of Environmental Protection, as well as getting cooperation from U.S. authorities, can restore the population of these wonderful water animals. Now, drones aren't only used to save the vaquita, but also to explore archaeological sites in Mexico. In the year 2013, Dr. Genevieve Lucet from the National Autonomous University of Mexico arrived to the archaeological site of Zempoala, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle, more commonly known as a drone. Using this novelty piece of technology, Lucet discovered an unknown part of this ancient place. The drone, with a camera mounted on top of it, took photos which seemed to show the official drawings of the archaeological sites, which were originally made by Mexican archaeologist Ignacio Marquina. It had several errors, and according to Dr. Lucet, the Temple of the Sun, which is the most important one of the site, and the entrance of the complex were placed on the wrong side of the map. The dimensions of the chimney temple were also smaller than the original sketch. Lucet's digitalization of the archaeological zones of Mexico began in the Cacaxtla archaeological site in the state of Tlaxcala in the year 1990. She and her entire team digitalized the maps and drawings of the zone with a computer program called AutoCAD. The result was a computerized miniature version of Cacaxtla, the first one of its type in the entire Latin America. In the year 2012, Genevieve managed to convince the university to procure a drone for her and her entire team. They subsequently mounted a camera on the Huitzlin, which is the name given to the drone, along with a homemade timer, a GPS, and an imaging and radio system. With this new tool, 364 pictures of the Zempoala were able to be taken and used to make a sophisticated map in 3D. This work, which is known as photogrammetry, is being used ever since the 19th century for military purposes. It is a complicated job, and making a map requires hundreds and hundreds of photographs to be taken from different angles, of course. However, it is well worth the effort, as the result are 3D drawings of areas considered to be inaccessible, perhaps of dangerous or very dangerous to researchers. My goal in life is not to record the Mexican heritage, but to improve the tools to obtain complete and accurate information. We'll be right back after the break.